Today we're going to be talking about my ice machine. I've had this for about a year, and it has eliminated my need to run to the gas station to get a bag of ice or to try to make it myself, because I don't have an ice machine in my freezer. So if you have that, it's quite nice, quite handy. I do like the ice that you can buy at the gas station. Like, I like the big chunks, but it does get expensive quickly if you are using a lot of ice because you're selling tie-dye or ice dye. So this is very convenient. When I first got it, I thought that I would be like making ice, and then when there's excess, bagging it and sticking it in the freezer, because I've got a chest freezer over there. But I only did that like one time, and then I stopped because the ice is a little bit wet, and then it refreezes and it becomes a block, and then you have to work to really break it up. And then I just realized the effort of going through that process of containing it in the freezer, breaking it up again, it's like, this isn't so convenient anymore. Not fun. I don't like that process. But I have realized it's not really necessary because this is well insulated and it takes a long time for it to melt. So if I have excess, I just leave it in there. And sometimes I forget and I just leave this thing running. Probably not ideal for your electric bill, but for the past year, it's been fine. I'm not leaving it running all the time, but sometimes it runs for a couple days. It's not completely full because when the ice falls out of the ice maker thing, there's a little lever that the ice will sit on when it's almost full. So if you really want to get this thing completely full, then come every once in a while and use the little scooper thing to like crunch up all the ice so it'll move away from tripping this little capacity lever. So you want it to keep making ice. So down here, I have a sink right there and a sump pump pit. So mine is plumbed to the sink water. There are options for putting water into this without having it plumbed. I didn't do that, so I don't know whether that's realistic or not, or if that would just be really annoying. I also didn't plumb it, a friend did. But if you have the will or a handy friend, you can get what you need from the hardware store to do the job. I think I'd probably be able to figure it out if I needed to YouTube it. So you can decide, YouTube how to add that into your line and see if it looks appealing to you. And so then the drain for when ice is melting, mine is just running into the sump pump pit over there, and that's fine. This is only used for tie-dye. This is not making ice that is meant for consumption. So somebody asked how I clean it, and I don't really, because it's not for consumption. It probably should be cleaned because I have hard water and there's been some rust buildup on the inside of it. So wiping that down regularly would probably be a good idea if you want to keep it clean for consumption. And if you are also going to use the ice for your drinks, you probably don't keep this in your dye area. Put this somewhere else and then just go get ice from it when you need ice. I have it here because it's convenient. And I really like just being able to grab my scooper and scoop a bunch of ice over there to the counter quickly. So when I need ice, I will turn this on like 2 or 3 hours before I plan on dyeing anything. That seems to be a good amount of ice. If I want to be really ready to go, like in the morning, I will turn this on the night before. I'll go to bed with this just turned on, and then in the morning, I'll have a whole bunch of ice to use. And then around lunchtime again, it'll be near capacity again, so I can load up some more items. But by that time, I have run out of bins or fleece to use for my normal style that I'm dyeing these days. So it's kind of like I'm not dyeing high enough volume to need ice, like a whole bunch of it at one time. It's the amount that this can make in a day is adequate for me because I don't have the bins and the space and the shirts and like a high enough volume of other things to need a whole bunch of ice at one time. So this is good. It's like I need more than what a fridge freezer ice maker can do, but I don't need like the massive industrial ice maker, if that makes sense. I will say I'm impressed by the insulation in this. I have turned it off with ice in it, expecting it to just melt and drain out. and then I come back a day later and there's still ice in there, maybe like enough to dye one shirt. So you don't really have to freak out or worry that you need to use the ice right away because it's good at keeping it pretty cold in there. It doesn't melt very fast. Okay, so you might be on the fence about getting an ice machine. If you are actively selling tie-dye, you have figured out that routine, so your tie-dye business is flowing, and you think you could need more ice, then this might be a good purchase for you. If you are just starting out and you don't have a customer base or traction yet with how you're selling, where you're selling, and you're thinking you just want to like gather tools and supplies to have a tie-dye business, I don't know that I would like go out and get this right away. I would probably establish your process more so you know that you can figure out how to reach your customers and sell before buying this. So this is not a necessity to have a successful tie-dye business. It is not going to fix your business if you are currently having trouble selling your tie-dye. But if you are selling it and you need to save time and money in the process, this will help you. It's kind of big, and if you have a small space, this might be kind of annoying. Okay, I'm gonna go get a bin. I'm gonna take the ice, put it in the bin so you can see how much is in here. Okay, because I was mentioning it, this white line there goes under there to the sink, getting water over there, and then there's the drainage line that goes into the sump pit. It's gonna come out in these sheets, and they don't always break up when they fall, so I just use the scooper thingy to chop up the ice, and that works fine. This is the lever that when it is pushed down, it will stop making ice. So sometimes a sheet will just like sit here with the lever pressed down while there's still space down here for more ice to land. So that's where you might want to come in and like knock that out of the way if you want it to make more ice. It's sitting for a while. The ice that's at the bottom is going to look more like crushed ice, and the ice that was more recently made is going to be like fully still formed. But yeah, I like this mix of ice. Okay, so this bin represents how much ice comes out of the ice machine, and that's a lot of ice. That's, I don't know, several things, depending on how much ice you want to use. I would say at least 4 items. Maybe not 4 large sweatshirts, but 4 shirts. Yeah. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any other specific questions, and I'll try to do like a follow-up post or something, maybe in my Facebook group, Corky Dyes.